we just practicing Vinyavsky?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. It's very. Did you play it before?
Yeah.
So it's very pretty and not too stressful. She plays third movement of Brook and Tsigan. Those are very stressful pieces. Okay. You actually had good A to begin with, and then you kind of. Yeah, okay. But it's not staying right. Do you want me to push it in or?
I think I can do it. I don't have fine tune.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, what do you think? How does it feel?
I think I was slipping up at like a bunch of parts.
Where?
Like all the fast parts, but I think like overall, like when I played with you, it felt like pretty good.
Yeah, I agree because I guess if you played before, I mean, I don't really remember, but it sounds like you know what you're doing. So it sounds like you know the accompaniment, so everything is good. So um, for the first part, I thought that you can be even more expressive, and that includes because you're getting older now, you need to also move a little bit. Like you kind of need to look the part. Yeah, and towards the end, yeah, because the second half or the last third of this movement, all the fast notes, it gets little boring if you don't have enough energy. So it needs to be confident enough. Obviously, it has to go like smooth enough so you can focus just on the energy. Yeah. Also, I felt so. What else? I felt like maybe at the beginning your sound is big, but almost too big. But you need to shape a little more, not just big sound, but shape. And sometimes you need to listen to piano a little bit more because this concerto, it almost works like chamber music. It could almost be a sonata. You know, some concertos like piano that doesn't exactly line up with violin, but there many times we really have to line up. So it sounds like, but it's good. So let's do it again. And this time we can start. So this is actually quite good. We had a lot of problem with tempo here and rhythm. Now it's fine. It's just a little unclear what note is most important. Which note is, yeah, like the biggest in the phrase. So this is important, of course. This is maybe even more important surprisingly important, and this also important, and this one. So I don't know how he wrote it. It's like, wow, this is the best. This is even better. This is the best. Oh, and that one as well. And let's not forget that. But you sound like you're not sure, but it kind of has to be right. So I'm just going. Better. It was noticeably better. I think it's very tricky to actually implement this. So maybe. So maybe some of the function, like to point out what's going on with those notes, maybe preceding notes, shaping them, but only a little bit, because I feel like if you shape those notes too much, it's not gonna work. So I'll just leave this up to you and Tunda, because it's very good, but there is still 5% missing. So that needs to, because this is the opening, and you almost play it solo, so it needs to be so good. Okay, one more time and moving on. Okay, so you see, I always feel the rhythm and tempo a little tighter. Don't take those extra times. It doesn't help. Did you notice it wasn't quite together at some point? It's also because here. Like you need to be on this intensity, in this tempo. Okay, so one more time. Good. So it was all better, but I just want to point out these 3/8 notes after 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You need to shape them. Don't play them straight. Da 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 dum. Because actually after this da 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 da, all 6 of them, and it's going to be 2 square. So do something through them. Somehow shape. Maybe speed up a little bit. Maybe do a little rubato or crescendo, but a little bit more. Let's go right from B, right from. So like second time. Like it works, so I'm stopping you for the next thing. When you go imagine there is crescendo on the rest. Like a little bit, and you go and it sounds like nothing happened there, but I think something happened over the rest. Let's go from B again the second time. Yes, so the same thing. Tam ta da da dam. Don't do tam ta da 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 dam. That's all. Okay, so not bad. There is a 4 measure phrase. So this kind of phrase, it goes into next phrase. It doesn't relax at 10 too much. So don't slow down too much. Because then it feels like it's stuck, and so this part. So it feels like maybe second phrase needs to be even more intense, and therefore the 4th measure of the first phrase shouldn't slow down too much, because it interrupts this intensifying. Okay, let's go from D. Just at the beginning of the section. But these octaves and the following ta 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 tam tam tam, I would exaggerate kind of agogically, timing wise, the importance of this. It should be like so intense, and you sound just very intense, but without like good job though. This is all fine. You just need to exaggerate a little bit, because this concerto is kind of uber romantic. It's very very like romantic. There is a lot of romantic music. So you know Chopin is very romantic, obviously, but Chopin can be kind of neutral. Like he writes characters just relaxed, almost like jazz of the romantic times. Of course, he had like sad pieces, but mostly it's kind of like this. Rachmaninoff can be very sad, and very intense. But this is kind of, it's something else. It's very Broadway like. It's kind of very passionate. It's like a love story. And love story not even about a person. Love story about everything. Kind of like love in the city. Like somebody lives in the city and loves it. And loves poetry. And maybe loves someone. And love the stars in the sky. You know, like Broadway thing. And loving themselves. And loving their friends. It's like so like very very kind of intense but smooth, like that intensity, kind of like a fireplace. It's intense but very like nice. Okay, good job. So where did you want to go from? You can go from, but yeah. This place, it's a little tricky, but I remember how you always did it. It's calming down, but not too quickly. It's still it kind of, it's like in the fireplace. There's just a little left, like a little of the coals, but sometimes they flare up into flame a little bit. And so right, so it just like stays red, and sometimes it flames a little bit and then stays red. So the fire is out, but then little flame out and little flame, and then finally out. So if you can get it, so don't die out too early. Go from those triplets a little bit more smooth. Don't do ta da da ta 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 tam. They need to be kind of ta da ta 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 tam. You can do ta da da ta 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 tam, but maintain a certain level of smoothness. It's like carrying a glass of water, and you can jump but carefully, because otherwise you're going to spill. Good job. If you can somehow have a different sound on I don't know, maybe different vibrato, different shape, because I know this note and this note seem like the same, but they should be like worlds apart. It's like here, they kind of fall asleep in a chair next to the fireplace, right? And in the same chair, they start dreaming of going to Italy and bathing in the sea in the same chair. But the dream is so different. You know, it's like they dream that the chair flew to Italy. So this is the same chair. So this is how it has to sound. The same, but no, but worlds apart. Okay, let's go again. Yes. Good. The kind of the same thing here. When you do in rubato, not too heavy because it's like a dream. Everything is shimmering and not quite that clear. But if you do more, then it doesn't sound like a dream. So everything a little bit like through the fog, like in a dream, a little bit less clear. Okay, go right from. So, and I'm talking mostly about quality of rubato, so no, not too sudden, but the sound can be a little stronger, and vibrato can be there. Just don't spill the glass. Okay, go again. You're perfect. It's perfect now. Good. So the cadences, this part, I would make it a little bit more special. Here you have a little bit more room. This is a little bit more real. It's like somebody says, I can get used to this dream. You know, so this is like, the sound was much better now. Okay, just go from That's much better. Just the only, so it was much better with one exception. I was almost not going to stop here until I heard the last note. Not that heavy on the last note. Like just not otherwise it sounds like somebody over ate. Like ate so much. It was so good. And then they had all this food and chocolate cake that now they kind of not feeling so. Okay, but just moving on. quite not that square. You don't. I know it's difficult, but it sounds a little square. And don't rush. I know actually some people would probably do it, but you're not ready for this because your notes are not that clear, and when you change speed, it just becomes even harder to track. So that's all. So what I noticed, that was good. And the second time can be little bit, just a little bit faster than the first time. So first time. It can be a little. I mean, you actually have the same place, and then again. So I think second time can be a little lighter and a little faster, possibly, because if it's the other way, we already heard it once, and if it's going slower, it's gonna be bad news. So second time you don't have to play louder, because playing louder is difficult, and it's gonna be slower, but we don't want it slower. That's all. But we don't have to do it again. Just go from ta 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 ta. So runs like this. Just give them a little bit more attitude. Maybe accelerate it with crescendo a little more because it's like your solo. So if it's too steady, it doesn't sound very musical. Go from. Yeah, just if it's hard, I'm not asking you necessarily to play everything faster. It's just I want a shape. So if you want to keep the same average speed, just start slower. Just a little bit like this, so it doesn't sound. Okay, try. Or maybe you can even do it backwards. So I kind of don't want to slow down here, but it might work if it sounds very deliberate. Like I don't know. Try. Yeah, but in general, it is in good shape for the first rehearsal because we worked on it before. Okay, have a little break and we will play it again. But it's good. Everything is good.
So next week we're gonna be the same time or different time?
I think you can have the same time. time if you like.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. Oh yeah. All right. So ready to play again?
Yeah.
It's very close. Like it's almost there. Almost there. So now your playing is like you play like 92% and it needs to be 95. So that's all. Like I know some people who's playing like feels like 80%. But your playing is like it's almost there. Let's check tuning. Little flat. But only a little bit. Okay, oh yeah. I'm sorry. Well, get that intro. Oh yeah, this is almost like fine. I'm stopping you almost for nothing, but this phrase, you kind of slow down in the middle of the phrase, and you didn't compensate with maybe crescendo or extra vibrato. Just be careful about this. You, like everyone struggles with this, and we used to have much more problem. This almost imperceptible, but I think you should avoid. So you like. And it might work, but it might not. So it depends on the quality of your tone. If you make it interesting, a little slower, then it's like, well, listen to this, or it's like, listen to, you know. So it depends. Let's go right there. Second time. general, this is kind of concerto when you play in slower places. You should always be like very aware and like introduce some details always. So you cannot really put this kind of music, slower sections on autopilot. Like you have to actively get involved. So as soon I'm just saying in general. I don't mean that it sounds bad, but you need to keep it interesting. And sometimes I feel like you're doing enough, and sometimes you don't. So you need to listen to yourself more a little bit. Just really like I often talk to my students about this. I feel like when I'm doing chamber music with people, I kind of have an indicator like how interesting it is. Like interesting, oh, that's boring. So it's kind of like in the car, how much gas it has, like a needle that shows. So you have to like actively try to have it here and not here. It is actually not a criticism, it's just an idea. Just idea. And sometimes you tend to slow down, like when you're playing something slower. I think this is a little bit of like how you work with tuned down bowing, and it sounds like you have a big sound and a very continuous bow, but it can hurt the phrasing, and that's all. But when you play faster places, somehow, normally faster places can be more on autopilot. For fast places, like easier to remember, but slow ones, you gotta do it like you know like a Moonlight Sonata. If you just play on autopilot, just like I mean it's of course like very beautiful music, but after a while it's gonna get boring because it's very long. So you actually need to like feel it. Like doing something. Just like a little bit of something. Okay, well, we have 5 more minutes. What do you want to do?
Maybe work on the phrasing for like.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Do you want to go where? From or right there? Okay, go. Okay, you doing the second time. Okay, so go from from here, right? So in general, this last note, I know you probably practice it with tunda like this, but something is missing. Either vibrato or something. You go tam ta da da da. It just cannot be like this. That's all. Let's do it again. Good job. Good job. So here, if I was like to advise a little bit, there are, it's one phrase, first measure, second measure, do, 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 do. So they shouldn't be identical exactly. So second one is gonna be a little bit more intense, and you did, and it's like it's kind of beautiful but dangerous because we're getting stuck. That's all. Go from here. Yeah. Okay, so another thing here that you need to be careful about, those pickups after long note, da 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 da, into da 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 da, into da 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 da, into da. So you need to calculate them just right. If they're too weak, it's not good. If they're too heavy, it's not good either. Da 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 da. Doesn't work. Da 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 da. That doesn't work either. So you get them a little bit too intense. Let's do it again. You can have it a little bit more intense, but we're on the right track. Before you were like, I'm just gonna play like this. Now you're like trying to match. So this is exactly how you need to do. You need to be aware. Let's do it again. Listen to piano, and even like if I brush aside my own interpretation, the music says piano, mezzo forte, so it's pretty intense, and you have appassionato and you have crescendo on G sharp. So try to match the intensity of the piano, because we both have melody. We have two melodies. It's like a duet here, and you sound weaker. Okay, we are done. Good work today. Everything is fine. This has always been like this for everyone in this concerto. Not just to know the notes and play them in tune, but really be very sensitive.